And welcome back to our Gehenna Gaming Tuesday night Twitch stream Fireside Chat Hangout. I am here with my good friend Nick Francia, who we just asked a bunch of questions to, interview style, nobleman Nick.
Should I just drop water everywhere? Sorry, give me a second.
He just went to get water and he dropped it.
Just a little bit. No, I'm glad to be here.
Not getting another break.
The interview was awesome. I'm super excited about this topic they're about to be on.
Very good. So this is an interesting topic. I have not run games for kids. Well, tabletop role-playing games I haven't run for kids. I've got a lot of experience with kids. I've got 6 or 7 nieces and nephews, and I've had them pretty much my whole life. So now I got 3 of my own, 9, 6, and 4-ish, 5. And Big Dad's gonna hydrate us with those.
Oh no, I'm just not gonna drink
points.
unless Big Dad says we can.
Yeah, I refilled my vitamin water. I'm good to go. But he didn't hydrate yet, so I'm not spending points before. And this is like
he's slacking.
Simon Says. It's like Simon Says. You can't drink before Simon Says. So running games for children, obviously, probably a little challenging. Chat, if you have any experience, by all means, throw your name in the hat. Let us know your thoughts. Mr. Nick, have you ever considered running games for kids? And if so, what age group do you think would be the most receptive, or you spending them points? Could answer after you swallow your hydrated water.
Yeah, I've definitely considered. Like, I have a niece and nephews, and I've always been like, oh, you know, I dream, like, as an uncle, you dream of the moment you can, like, show
hook them on the hobby.
Yeah, hook them on the hobby, or like the video games, and like because when I have to babysit them when my like sisters are over, or just like hang out with them, spend time with them, because like, you know, you don't know how long you're gonna get that before they're off doing their own thing. Yeah. Like, I love showing them new stuff, even if it's on Netflix. I love showing them like the cartoons that I saw as a kid, you know, because they're just hooked on like superheroes. I'm like, whoa, but here's Pokemon. Or I remember my niece especially, she's super susceptible to stuff like this. So like, I remember showing her Coraline and like Atlantis, and she fucking loved those movies, and I was so happy. I was like, yeah. And so I would love to DM for kids and like, or GM for kids, and like introduce them to someone like the more lighthearted side of tabletop. I do think you probably need more of an attention span, so maybe like the group you want to start out with is like probably like 8 or 9, or maybe 7 you can away with, just enough that they know some bait they can like they'll keep their attention held even a little bit, so you can
So I think when you're running for kids, I think the younger you go, the more rules light it has to be. You know, and even when you're running for someone that's 10 or 12, you're probably going to end up doing a lot of the another hydrate. You're going to end up doing a lot of the rules and math for them. You're going to show and lead by example. Even a lot of adults, the first time they play, have a hard time sometimes even adjusting to the rules, especially if it's the first time they're in a tabletop role-playing game.
Yeah.
And I experienced that a lot running one-shots at cons. We had some people that had never played any kind of dice game before. So...
And they probably probably not going to role play. They're probably going to be like strictly on all the mechanics, you know, which is fine. You gotta walk before you can run, you know.
I mean, I had one lady who had never played before, and she was 60 something.
Well, I mean, in terms of like kids, because I don't expect kids to like be able to. Well, actually, I guess you can. Like, kids are like the best at make believing, so.
And that's why I feel like mine are pretty much ready for it. They want to. They've recently seen like fantasy stuff on Netflix. We just finished The Dragon Prince, which I love.
Good series.
I think it's so good.
Yeah, made by the people that made Avatar. So
yeah, no, it's great. And they also just watched She-Ra, so they're big into sword and sorcery right now. And they know that I run games, and they know that they're scary games. You run people scary games,
spooky games.
Right? I'm like, these are all books of monsters, guys. They think it's cool, but they're also like apprehensive about checking out the scary books.
Yeah.
Well, now that they know that there's a fantasy version, they're super interested. They want to slay a dragon.
Oh yeah, that definitely. So, what are you gonna run them in?
Well, I'm going to run D&D 5e for the first time.
Okay.
My first time running it. And I wrote up a short one-shot chronicle already. It's about 1,100 words. It's very simple. My fiance is going to play. Our first time playing too. And it's whimsical and lighthearted. Like one of his childhood buddies, because this kid is like a waiter at the inn, and there's like milk and cookies on the menu, and it's ridiculous, like this is not possible. But to a 5 or 6 year old, this is the world that they live in.
This is so wholesome.
They think that's reality.
I would argue that in the medieval times, that's actually, milk was one of the more readily accessible things to drink because you had cows. So that was actually something you could order at an inn, because people didn't really drink water back then. They thought it was bad, because because people drank wine or milk. I think was
beer or mead was always considered to be. It's strange because it was like purified, right?
Yeah, so I feel like someone asking for milk in the olden time, that's not too bad. Like,
right. So he wants to be a barbarian real bad.
Okay.
Because he practically is one. He's not even changing the name of his character. It's just himself. So I'm like, okay, great. So I'm gonna run him through a little scenario. They're at an inn. They're gonna meet a colorful cast of characters. They're gonna go into the woods. These goblins have been stealing crops. This dog that was supposed to be guarding them has gone missing. Everyone in town misses the dog. This thing is like the centerpiece of their adoration. Right?
Beat the bad guys, rescue the doggo.
That. So they're going in the woods. They're going to have to camp halfway. They're going to meet some owls who are magic, who sing and put them to sleep. And my daughter, who wants to be a gnome bard, is going to learn a sleep spell off of them based on their tune.
This is so cute.
And it's going to be adorable. And like they'll have some checks like climbing over stuff, whatever. They're going to run into a lizard wolf that I just made up out of my insane brain. They can obviously talk to it, charm it, use charm animal, get it on their side, whatever, fight it. I don't care. My 5-year-old's probably going to want to bash everything with a hammer. That's cool. He can do that. I'll make 5 wolves. It doesn't matter. You bop them all in the head like it's Chuck E. Cheese game. So they're going to get to a cave, 3 paths. One's a dead end with a trap. One of them's got a dragon that's good but trapped. And if they, one of them will have like the language you need, read the runes, and it's like you have to sing basically head, shoulders, knees, and toes. It's this child riddle, right? Freeze the dragon. He helps you out, hooks you up, whatever. And last one's a cavern full of goblins, and they've got the dog, but they're not trying to hurt the dog. They think it's great, and they're trying to feed it all kinds of garbage and candy, which is bad for the dog. And they don't want to give it up because they love the dog too. So it's a showdown, right? Epic fight.
This is so wholesome. I fucking love this. Continue. I want to hear the rest of it.
I'm gonna run this for my kids. My fiance is running as a druid. She's never played any kind of tabletop game before. I've offered her. I've tried to get her into it. She's very shy about doing geeky, nerdy stuff, And so she is gonna play with our kids because it's adorable. I'm hoping she gets the gaming bug because I'm gonna put some stuff in there that is adult too, that'll go over their heads, that might hook her as far as mystery or intrigue, or maybe she'll even like the kill loot reward thing. I don't know. Everyone plays for different reasons, but this is my 5-year-old one shot. And I'm expecting chaos, but that's okay.
That's how it should be. If I could make a recommendation, if you're not like, obviously D&D is the most popular, but right. I would highly recommend Dungeon World because it's just D&D with Power by the Apocalypse rules, and Power by the Apocalypse is like the easiest system to learn. It's my go-to for hooking anyone on tabletop games that's never played it before. But
I'm probably not even going to use half. I'm probably going to even use 7/8 of the rules. I'm just going to tell them a story, get them the basics, and if it can keep their attention and they love it. Because you know what? I guess this is not their first role-playing game. They begged me to buy the My Little Pony role-playing game.
Why didn't you, Rick? Why didn't you?
Funny thing, I did. And I rated it. and it's basically this dragon's trying to eat their like jewels or something, and you roll a dice and the dragon's on a different part of the map every other turn or something like that. It's very choose your own adventure. But they loved it. They thought it was great.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm hoping to get into it, and maybe the more they get into the world and start playing things, baby steps, right? Get them to wade in the water before they swim. I'm going to start introducing different concepts, okay, this is how the rules work, a little bit of a time. Luckily with D&D, a lot of it is all the D20, right? And the DM tells you what to roll. I'll probably have their character sheets in front of me because they're probably not even going to look at them. They're going to be too excited imagining everything. Also they're kids. They might just hoard them the whole time and say, that's mine. That's cool. I'll make another copy.
Oh my God.
So these are things I'm trying to anticipate. Hopefully I'm not misled.
Yeah, no. Oh man, that's just, I know I keep saying it's wholesome, but it's good because you're getting them hooked on like a hobby so I'm gonna sit up because I'm not as short as I look on camera, I swear. You're getting them hooked on like a hobby that they could do for the rest of their life. And I honestly think that there's so much cool stuff that you learn from tabletop. You can, with the amount of friends you can make from it, people like you, just storytelling, creativity. So at the time, D&D is honestly sometimes really good for your mental health.
I agree.
In terms of like
any of these games, really.
Oh yeah, and it's the same for sports. People use sports as the same reaction, like, or just getting your frustration. But like, it's so good to have something constant, like every week in your life that you can like look forward to, that is going to be good no matter what. Because that's what my D&D in college was for me. It was, even if I was working, even if I was having bad days at class or with like people or with relationships, Monday or Wednesday night D&D was always there for me, and it never was. It was always going to be the one constant. I know it was going to go good. I know I was going to play this story, and I know I was going to have a great time.
Yeah, that's
so
cool.
I think that's super admirable to try to teach that to your kids, and like the way you're doing it sounds like an awesome way. My question for you then would be, just because I'm going to turn the tables on you a bit, what games would you suggest? Because I feel like what games would you suggest for like systems that you would suggest to bring kids into the fold? Like,
so I researched a little bit of it. There was one that I guess a lot of people recommended called I don't know, something like Say No to Evil, or it's something ridiculous like that. Pugmire is another good one, but that is also
No Thank You Evil.
No Thank You Evil. That's it.
Okay. Oh, this looks cute as hell.
Yeah. So there's a lot of D&D-ish games for kids. Wordlings is one I've seen in stores. That might be a Wizard of the Coast property. It's hard to tell. They have minis that even look like kids that are pre-painted. If you want to get the kids into miniatures, by Monty Cook, I guess.
Okay, yeah, that's also Oh man, I just remembered, like, you just unlocked like a hidden memory that I had. So when I was young, I played a miniatures game. Holy shit, I bought this miniatures game. Do you remember HeroScape?
Yes.
I remember. So I know HeroScape was a lot bigger than I probably remember, but I remember when HeroScape first came out, and I begged my mom to buy it for me from Toys R Us. Nice. Oh, and it was by Wizard of the Coast. Oh shit, yeah, and like it had all these hexagon tiles and like characters you could play as, and they're all pre-painted miniatures. Holy shit, yes. Yeah, so it's like a HeroScape game. HeroScape, that's the game people should give to their kids. That shit will hook them. Because I thought that was so cool. God damn, I think I still have this box in my closet.
Yeah, go find it. Yeah. Fire that puppy up. Play it online.
Play some.
There's probably a tabletop simulator version of it.
Oh, I can imagine. There's just like all these people. Yeah, Royatama is actually really awesome. It's like it's almost like a Wizard of Oz game. I remember I've only have seen it played once, but it's a Japanese. It's a I believe you have to buy it translated. I know it's made by a Japanese designer, but yeah, it's a really cutesy thing where you're like, you just go off on these little adventures, and it's all about like the seasons and stuff like that. And
that's
like,
cool.
Yeah, I was have it described as like a very like adventurers leave home to accomplish their goal, Was the original coloring book? Oh, wow.
Wow.
I can't. Someone redeem hydrate so I can drink this because I feel bad not.
Let's just drink.
Because then when they redeem it, I'm not gonna have it anymore.
Get another. I'll cover for you. I can talk all day. But no, seriously. Redwall is one. Mouse Guard is another one. Pugmire. I was thinking it's not out yet, but the manuscript might be Legend Lore, where you yourself are your actual identity is put into a fantasy world. That might be good. Root RPG, someone mentioned as well.
Oh yeah, Root looks so cute, but it's like deceptively cute because it can get really serious.
Yeah.
Oh, so is Legend Lore 5th edition?
It is.
Okay, because I remember, because Steffi Devon did this, right? She did this. Okay, yep. Yeah, I remember listening to an interview with her on Darker Days Radio about this. That's so cool. So you actually, I totally forgot about this.
Yeah, it's you as Nick or Webster or Will or Otter Poet. You yourself are then somehow whisked away into a fantasy world, and I think you can go back and forth. You can like live your life normal. So it's like a Narnia, right?
I would come back for this. I would play D&D again for this. Someone run Legend Lore. I will play this whole what? This is like everything. Oh my god, I love. Okay, I have something to admit. I love like the isekai, like people get trapped in like a virtual world. I love that shit. Ever since when I was a kid, do you remember? Because we're talking about kid stuff. So I feel like this is. Do you remember? Well, obviously you're a little bit older than me, Rick. So this might not be like something when you were a kid. But when I was a young lad, there was this movie called The Page Master.
Oh hell yeah! Movie rules.
What's up?
That movie rules with Macaulay Culkin.
With Macaulay Culkin, and he gets stuck in the books. I was like 5 years old.
I was a kid when that came out, I think.
I was like 5 or 6, and I love that.
Yeah, there's an older movie.
Yeah, I love that movie. I have the VHS of it still somewhere downstairs. Oh man, it's amazing. I will stream that movie. I know you're probably talking about Legend Lore, but I will stream that movie.
There's no reason not to. It's a great one.
It's good, and it gets downplayed a lot. And I remember when I was a kid that I liked it so much that we went to the King of Prussia Mall, which is a little bit outside of Philadelphia, and they have this big star they're in like the center of the mall, and I like laid on it because he falls, he looks up, and he gets like transported, like thinking that I was gonna get transported to this other world.
That's cool.
I wouldn't run Siren for kids. That's a little bit too. That's intense.
Yeah.
But yeah, Page Master, Legend Lore. What?
That's cool.
That's so cool.
So you're a fan of games where it's like a fish out of water. You're the same character, but you're in different scenarios. And see, I like concepts like that too in stories, which is why I like Mummy, because you can kind of be in a different setting each time.
Okay, yeah. See, I like that.
I'm a big fan of like Sliders, that old Fox show, and there was an X-Men spin-off series called Exiles, where it was really just everyone in the Marvel universe. They had, I think it was always like 5 or 6 of them at a time, and characters would die, and it would go into different. It would go into different what if worlds or whatever. Kind of like an Elseworlds DC thing, where like, okay, in this world, all of the people are zombies, or Captain America's a werewolf, or Russia won World War II, and they're there to solve a problem. But all the heroes they know are either, some of them are dead, some of them are changed, some of them are evil, and they would try and fix something in the timeline and then hop on to the next one, right? Mm-hmm. But if someone died, they would get replaced by another strange character from whatever timeline. So one of them literally was the Carnage Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. Another time it was Gambit or whatever, but
that sounds awesome.
It's a constant changing roster, and they're always in a different place.
I'm gonna have to look that up. That sounds like right up my alley.
I have almost the whole series. It was really good. Okay. Mimic from the X-Men was the main character. It was cool because he would adopt different powers depending on who he was with or where he went, or what made sense.
You know what it is? I feel like I want to say, because there's a lot of anime that does it, but even before that. Like, I remember reading this book called Heir Apparent that was about this girl that got stuck in a video game, and it was like virtual reality. But even before that, we had, like, Code Lyoko was all about going into, like, this computer world, and I loved that show as a kid. Oh, my God, there's one even before that. The not the old ass Johnny Quest that people probably like came out in this like 70s or 80s, but in the 90s they had like a Johnny Quest that was
The New
like,
Adventures of Johnny Quest.
was that what it was called? And like
so.
they would go into like video games and stuff like that, into like computers and stuff. Like it would switch to 3D halfway through.
I like the Venture Brothers. Show's so funny.
It's, oh my god, there's so many like cartoon shows that have natural progressions into more adult oriented entertainment.
Oh, for real.
So yeah, Johnny Quest into
A New York Yankee and King Arthur's Court.
Yes, there we go. Okay,
Yeah,
so do you remember? There's a movie in the '90s called A Kid in King Arthur's Court, and he played for like a Yankees like team, like one of like the kids MLB, and he goes to and I thought that was such a cool. I also had that movie on VHS.
I think there was a cartoon show in the 90s called King Arthur and the Knights of Justice, and it was literally a goddamn football team that gets stuck in Avalon. What? And they end up becoming King Arthur and all them, and they literally have stupid football helmets, and they get turned into King Arthur Knights. I mean, it was one of those shows that was like, we have the ability to make toys and sell them. Come up with a plot line. You know what I mean?
Oh my god.
Ridiculous. You're looking it up now, aren't you?
Yes. What the hell?
Morbid curiosity, yeah.
Jesus, this is amazing. Why have I not? I was about to go on this whole rant about Ed and, like, if you watch Ed and Eddie, you'll watch Workaholics, and if you watch Workaholics, you'll end up at Trailer Park Boys. But this is so much more Wow. Okay, there is... Oh, man, I feel like we very veered off topic, but we're all having such a fun time. There was this old miniseries that was, like, early 2000s, late 90s, called The 10th Kingdom.
Yes. I have that on DVD.
I have that on bootleg DVD.
So good.
My dad gave me.
With the three trolls, and one of them's the dad from Married with Children.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, with the three trolls, and is about the girl going to like the the fairy tale. Oh yeah, and they got stuck in the elevator, and they thought that the girl had transported them into a matchbox. Oh my god.
That was a good miniseries.
That's a show to like show your. I mean, I guess it's a little more adult oriented too, but like that's the show to show your kids just to have fun with, because I assure there was the dad, and he could like turn stuff to gold with his pinky.
Yeah, and he was a Night Court or something. He was a character actor.
Oh yeah,
that was pretty famous.
Oh my god, I forget his name. It was yeah, that was such a good show. Wow. But yeah,
running games for kids. I mean, my kids are super imaginative, and I'm sure a lot of kids are. Mm-hmm. You know, I take him to go see animals and stuff. He saw some kind of peacock, and he thought it was his favorite animal of the whole petting zoo. Right?
That's a good animal. It'll be like, that's kind of unique.
Yeah, and he was like, that thing is my favorite. And like on the way back, he's like, did you know peacocks have the power of the sun? They can literally call upon the power of the sun, Dad. I'm like, that's awesome, dude. I don't even discourage him. I'm like, wow, tell me more about peacocks. And he'll just talk out of his ass.
Peacocks just evolve into phoenixes. That's all I'm hearing.
I guess.
That's amazing. I feel like that's a cool, like, okay, not to discourage anyone, but if a kid were to tell me that his favorite animal is like a lion, I'd be like, that's some basic ass shit. Like my favorite animal is a lion, or like my favorite animal is
come back when you get a cooler animal.
Yeah,
a little shit.
Yeah, a little shit, or a tiger, or a bear. Even though my favorite was a polar bear, but it was a polar bear, not an actual bear. So whatever.
Well, you know your bears.
Yeah,
they're the biggest one.
Yeah, they're really cool. I always thought, like, but like it's like my favorite car is a wolf, or a lion, or a tiger. Get out of here, kid. But if it
come back when you know something about platypuses.
Yeah, but if a kid's like. Like if kids come back, my favorite animal is a peacock. I'm like, wow, that's some refined palate. That's a cultural trait. Like,
this child has taste.
This child knows his shit. I am proud.
I mean, I like octopuses. I think they're pretty.
That's really cool
because they're like aliens. But yeah, so running games for kids, I'm gonna keep it really rules light. I'm expecting a ton of chaos. If I put a king in this story, I swear to God, they would be like, I want to punch him in the face. And you know how I run my games. Mm-hmm. I'd let them, first of all. But I couldn't come back and be like, you're arrested and you're in the dungeon. Because that would be the logical adult thing that an adult would expect. Whereas kids, like, I punched the king. I'm going to have to change my storytelling style and be like, Oh, now he's on the ground crying. Oh.
Yeah, like
I guess you're the king now.
Or you're the bully, and like try to teach him something about it. Like try to.
No, that's a lesson.
No,
He's
no
the king
lesson.
now. It's all about power, you know. I don't know.
Is there a TRPG based off of Alice in Wonderland? I feel like there has to be, right?
I think there's a game for everything, dude. I'm surprised there isn't. And I think I heard they were making one, a Masters of the Universe role playing game. I think I heard they were coming up with one.
There's one for Jags, which I've never heard of. I've heard of like once actually, maybe.
Yeah.
But it's like it's a public domain thing, right? Alice in Wonderland, like.
I think so. Robin Hood. Peter Pan is public domain.
Why isn't someone using? Why that's. Man, someone's got to jump on that. Give us an Alice in Wonderland RPG. You heard it here, for folks. Okay, there's.
Well, I mean, look what people have done with public domain stuff already. Like, Leave Extraordinary Gentlemen was a public domain thing.
Lovecraft,
is it yet?
Some of it's public domain. Yeah. Not all of it. I know some of it's because you can use anything before 1932 is. So I don't think that. Well, because I'm sorry for what were you about to say?
I was gonna say I wonder if because I used to like a lot of the writings of G.K. Chesterton, who Neil Gaiman and a lot of other writers draw a lot of inspiration on or from. So I think I'm pretty sure his stuff is owned, but if it was public domain, that'd be rad because there is a book he wrote.
Yeah,
something about Thursday that I'd love to run. I wanted to make a short film about it because it's hilarious.
Mm-hmm. So the Call of Cthulhu is a trademark, but Cthulhu himself is public domain because I know there's Cthulhu in like Pathfinder and like D&D, like at one point in D&D. So all of most of Lovecraft's in public domain, but like specifically like the Call of Cthulhu and like the names of like the stories, you probably don't want to because like Pelgrane Press wrote like the Yellow King, and that's not Chaosium. Oh,
so the book I was talking about is in the public domain.
What's it called?
The Man Who Was Thursday. And there's another one. I was actually thinking of the Napoleon of Notting Hill, which is a hilarious story that I would love to do a one-shot scenario on. But The Man Who Was Thursday is basically about an undercover cop who goes into like this, it's almost like a cult ring of people who are like the kingpins of crime.
Mm-hmm.
And each one of them are named after a different day of the week.
Oh my God,
and he goes, and they all don't know each other's identities. So they go in and they're trying to figure out who everyone is, but trying to keep a little profile and who's who. And it turns out that I'm pretty sure by the end of it, almost all of them are different law enforcement agencies.
That's so cute.
That are actually all kingpins of crime. And they're like, oh shit, we all came here to like investigate this. And then one of them just like, well then fuck it. We have to like keep up the appearances. And then these people who are supposed to be law enforcement are actually still continuing to be crime kingpins. And it's basically like a social commentary on how the left hand does not talk to the right. And
yeah, there's always miscommunication
all the time. Because it's hilarious. It's a comedy. Yeah, no, he's got some great, ridiculous stuff. I would love to do one shots on. So knowing that's public domain is music to my ears.
That means it's open. You just gotta. Honestly, I'm just on the point where I've just accepted like if you wanna do something big, you just gotta do it. You just gotta go and put yourself. Yeah, don't ask for it. Just put yourself out there.
Do enough so that they send you a letter for a cease and desist.
Oh yeah, my English teacher in high school, I'll never forget. He was he would tell me that he once tried to write J.D. Salinger and got a cease and desist letter from J.D. Salinger's lawyers because he was saying that he wanted to write a book about J.D. Salinger. And they were like, you're not allowed to write a book or do a movie or any sort of media. Please stop harassing my client. And he framed that letter because he was like, that means that J.D. Salinger saw the letter and requested a cease and desist from him. So he's like, "That's
sweet."
I know. I was about to say, like, other games I would suggest to run, just in terms of, like, because you brought a good one, because I was about to think like what would be the simplest ones, but I also
the Reckoning.
Yeah. But like also like in terms of content. So yeah, Dungeon World if you want to do fantasy. There's this really good system called Interstitial, Our Hearts Intertwine, which is to
I've heard of that.
Yes, I rant about this a lot because it's made by Riley Hopkins. They are awesome. They actually gave me the book when I missed it by Free RPG Day by one day. They sent me. I was like, hey, I was like, wow, I really want to buy this book. I like couldn't get it because of Free RPG Day. It was like right after, like during PAX Unplugged, and I tweeted at him. And he was like, and they were like, oh, here's the book. Don't worry about it. And they were really cool. Nice. Yeah, Riley Hopkins is super awesome. And they make a lot of other games. But Interstitial is mimicking of. It's supposed to like Kingdom Hearts. So you're supposed to put all these fandoms together and like do a bunch of crossovers and play in these worlds. And there's a rule set for it. So like you can have your kids. Every time I run for my friends, but we've played in like Disney worlds. But you can run your kids in Disney worlds, and it's powered by the Apocalypse system. So it's 2d6. It's really easy to learn, and it's all about like this. The mechanics are all about making friends and keeping your friends together, and your friends are your power. And it's just a really cute game. It can be a really serious game, but it can also be a really cute game. So that would be my first recommendation. The other one, I want to say, there is a Pokemon tabletop game, Pokemon Adventures, which has a lot of huge support. It's all fan made.
Yeah, I've been wanting to do either a Cult or a Call of Cthulhu Pokemon crossover for a while.
It's a little bit meaty in the mechanics, which is why I wouldn't give it a super vocal suggestion. But if you can play it, I say go ahead.
Ooh, there's a Naruto game.
There's a lot of these like fan made games that like in terms of like I think I've played the Naruto D20 game. I think
was
once.
It good?
I just remember it being very complicated. That's generally what they do. It's just because like it's hard to emulate it.
'Cause I like Naruto. Not gonna lie.
I think if you're teaching teenagers how to play, Monster Arts might be a good, but it's just that's this content that might be a good thing to start people like to play with.
Otter Poet in the chat says the PIP system, which is very versatile. Amazing Tales, Golden Sky
Stories. That's another one.
Yeah. So those are good. When I'm looking out.
Thank you so much, Webby.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Webster. Always good to see you, man. Tales from the Loop.
Oh my god, I'm an idiot. That system's so easy to play.
Yeah, and you play as kids, and you can't die. So
until you move them into Things from the Flood, and then they're not ready for it.
Well, that's why you batten down the hatches, put up those sandbags.
Masks.
Masks, yeah.
By Magpie Games. You play superheroes. What's not to love?
It looked cool, and I haven't played it yet, but it looked. Yeah, I really want to try it out.
I think if you wanted to get them started, you could play. The Star Wars RPG is pretty good, and I think it's a little less meat. It's kind of meaty, but the Genesis system's nice though. I think if you can ease them in like you are with D&D, that might be another one to do.
They're too little to know Star Wars yet though. That's
really. Do they like wrestling?
No, they don't know wrestling.
Because there's the World Wrestling RPG powered by Apocalypse, which I think is hilariously fun.
I don't want to expose him to wrestling. He'll be elbow dropping his sister. Well, actually, it'd probably be the other way around. She's feisty.
There you go.
Yeah. And yeah, I do have special dice. You're a big dad. I've got 2 baseball-sized D20s that are foam that they've been throwing around the house for about a year now. So they love those things.
So if I were so you exposed your kids to the hobby, they like it. You're like, okay, you're ready to see what this is all about. What's the first, say a few years down the line, what's the first serious game or first horror game? Because you like horror.
Oh,
what's the first horror game you want to expose them to? Like that you feel you can have a controlled enough environment. And then what age would you probably do it?
Probably not vampire, because I don't want them, if it's horror, I don't want them to instantly be the monster. I want them to experience horror from a human standpoint.
Yeah.
First. So maybe Call of Cthulhu.
Okay.
because and slow burn it so that it's a mystery and that it's creepy. Although with some of the indie games we've played lately, the Great American Witch is cool, but once again, you're starting with someone with powers. You want to feel isolated, and so maybe Alien or When Shadows Falls.
Ooh, 10 Candles.
You know, 10 Candles, I was already thinking about doing a kid version of that because they already tell me things about the world that they're not ridiculous. I could be like, tell me something about the world, and they'd be like, those statues over there fart. And I'm like, yes, they do.
They what?
You know, they fart.
Oh, I think you said they fuck.
No, this is what they talk about.
The moon is made of, it's like the sky is raining watermelons.
But I think at the age they're at now, they'd have a hard time remembering the different facts about the world.
I'm trying to think of like a 10 marshmallows, and every time it ends, you eat a marshmallow.
You eat one.
And when the marshmallows are all gone, dinner isn't over. There's no more dessert.
They're just going to spoil their dinner forever. Sugar high. They're never going to bed.
I would say Dread would be good, but I feel like kids would just knock over that Jenga tower first chance they get.
Oh, for real. They can't sit still. Yeah, probably Call of Cthulhu. Maybe a scarier version of Tales from the Loop.
Oh, Things from the Flood you could do.
Yeah.
I mean, and Tales from the Loop can just be played as a straight up horror. I mean, anything can really be played as a straight up horror game. When I ran the Nowhere House for Bran and Dixie and Ife and Iffy and oh my god, I cannot believe I'm blanking. No, there's one more name. Oh my god, I'm so horrible. And Dan for Iffy, Dan, Bran and Dixie. That was a horror game, even though it was Tales from the Loop. But yeah, Things from the Flood is more horror oriented. It's cool as shit. But okay, Call of Cthulhu. I you know what? I like that because I feel like when you think of horror gaming, that's like the first thing you go to.
Yeah, outside of World of Darkness stuff.
Yeah,
for sure. Because you can get really trippy with it.
Would you not want to run them in like Mortal World of Darkness, like Chronicles?
You know, I would. If I was doing Call of Cthulhu, and depending on their age, I'd probably take out the luck thing, or maybe the sanity thing, because that can get complicated.
I would almost
I'd still have them freak out.
Yeah, I would almost argue like Gumshoe, because that's a super easy like Fear Itself or Cthulhu Confidential. If you only had one kid, you could play with them like that, or Trail of Cthulhu, which everyone. Call Cthulhu Confidential going back. Chris Spivey also did Cthulhu Confidential, going back full circle. Man, we've talked about a lot today.
Yeah,
it's been a hell of a ride.
So it's been good. So if you've got some advice or questions on how to, or just thoughts about running games for young adults, kids, Yellow King probably not too scary. Let us know. We might follow it up another time and broach the topic from maybe a different angle. I know Mark has small children, so it'd be fun to get his ideas on some of this. But I think we're going to wrap it for tonight.
Yeah.
My lady went to go talk outside with a friend with bug candles in the yard to get the bugs away because it's a nice summer night. And they have fallen into Narnia. And there are possums and skunks everywhere. And they're afraid to blow out the candles and run back at the yard. So I'm going to go do my husbandly duties and maybe get sprayed by a skunk.
Oh my God.
Y'all can laugh at me if I come back smelling awful.
Rick, I just want to say you have like the most idealistically sounding life, and I'm super jelly, and I'm so glad I got to do this interview with you. I think
that's been fun.
I know, it was a lot of fun, and it's good. Like, I'm sad that Mark wasn't here, because I know like he was originally supposed to be on, but it's also nice to get one-on-one time. I think.
Yeah. No, definitely.
It's really cool, and I feel like it's super ironic, like not ironic, but it super fits well that you did, because you were the first person to bring me into Gehenna, and it just makes sense that you would be the one to do this interview. Cause like,
well, thank you, sir.
Yeah, no problem.
I like to be the Gehenna Gaming gateway drug. They send the candy coated one first, and then they get the
They get
two other guys, cranky guys.
Yeah, they get Ian, the town grump. I think Ian's considered the grumpy one out of the three of you.
Yeah, we both have early onset grumpism, but I'm a little more of an optimist.
Oh no, you're super
bubbly.
Nice and friendly to approach, and I'm really excited about this pandemic stuff because I would be super happy to have like came hung out with you guys at Gen Con and PAX Unplugged. That would have been really awesome.
Yeah, well, there's always next year. Otter Poet, Thank you for joining us. Lord Shaper, Big Dad, obviously Grav, who popped in here, Kim Meow,
Webby,
welcome.
who already left, but Kim Meow.
Yep. Puppy Lover, thank you for joining us, everyone. It's always so much fun to sit here, talk about the things we love, especially with the hobby, with the people we really enjoy hanging out with, and getting to know people like Nick Moore.
Yeah, it's a
true joy.
No, it's awesome, and I think we're coming up almost to, okay, not a year. We're coming up to like, I think, let's see, I joined the team back in April, so we're coming up to April, May, June, July, August. We're coming up to 6 months soon. I have to. I have a college degree, everyone. I have to count on my hands. Don't stop.
We're gonna send him edible arrangements and a flower bouquet that is too big for him to carry out of the office.
Oh my god! I wish.
I almost did that for Mark's birthday.
I would.
And then COVID happened.
I would eat the shit out of an edible arrangement.
We were gonna send him a huge flower arrangement that he couldn't leave with, and I think he was like one of the only guys at his work, so it'd be really funny.
That would have been like who's it? You got flowers from who? A secret admirer.
Many of them.
Well,
I probably should have checked with his wife before we did something like that.
It's fine. That's another hill to die on for another day.
Yes. Well, we're off to go die on other hills.
But really quick, Def, where can they find you? Where can they find you?
They can find me very easily by looking up Def Malkavian anywhere they'd like. And Rick Wheeler, my actual name. You can find me very easily that way too. DMs are always open, and always reach out. I like to hear from people. So we're going to be probably flooding another channel after we've done this, right? Who are we rating? Is anyone?
I don't know. Who are we rating? Ian will figure something great. Okay. My name is Nick Francia. You can find me on Twitter at NoblemanNick. You could probably also find me on Facebook if you're one of the Gehennians and you know me, and like even online, send me a friend request. I need like 97 more people and I'll be at 1,000 friends.
Do they give you a coupon? Oh my god.
Oh, now I know, right? Yeah, I'm like a popular one. It feels nice.
Then we're gonna get ads just for being your buddy.
I'm gonna get the sponsorships mostly on Instagram. But you can follow me at Nobleman Nick on Instagram, on Twitter. Anywhere is cool. I'm always down to talk. Just hit me up with a DM. I'm always down if you want to interview me even more. Check out next Tuesday. I'm gonna be on the deep dive. I am the deep dive. I'm the host.
He is law. He's playing. He's going to be talking about Alien with Brother Wes again.
Yeah, Brother Wes, my fucking brother in arms.
Okay.
Yeah, great dude. But yeah, we're going to be talking about that next week, and there's a lot of other cool stuff. And you can check Rick out once more, not this Saturday, but the Saturday after when Kult the driver comes back.
Yes. I also pop up and do games randomly, and I'll be stream access soon, so I might have random streams here and there.
I would be happy. Oh, you can also see me Thursday. I'm streaming too. Thursday I'm going to be streaming video games in place of Ian because Ian needs the day off because he is overworked and I am underpaid, so I'm going to stream. No, I will catch you guys later. I love you, Zenny. Zenny says hi.
What are you playing Thursday, Nick?
I don't know. I don't want to just like play Dead by Daylight again, even though I know that's probably what people expect. I might play a new horror game. I beat Resident Evil 3, so we'll find out. I don't know, cool. Zenny, what do you think?
You play Friday the 13th?
I do have Friday the 13th.
That's a lot of fun.
That's a fun game. God, my stuff Xenomorph fell over. Okay.
I got that for Switch, and I think it's a blast. Even though it's not the best, it's hilarious. I am not good at that game.
I love playing that game, especially when I try to like leave in the boat and I get fucking toppled out of it by Jace. Fuck.
I've never. I did see someone successfully relive in the boat one time.
It's fun.
Yeah.
All right, then I will talk to you later then, Mr.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. We love you.
Bye. See you, Mr. Nick.
Goodbye, my friend.